Alright guys, welcome back to my channel. For the new subscribers, thank you for subscribing. For the viewers, thank you for clicking this video. So in today's video guys, I am going to be breaking down the trade that got me funded, right? So I recently got funded with Ascent X Capital, right? If you don't know what this company is, this company is a prop firm company, and I think on prop firm March, not I think, but I do know on prop firm March, they are like the 20th for like in terms of the best prop firms to use, right? They're like the 20th, right? So as you can see, I was able to get this specific prop firm account. Their profit target was 7%, and I was able to hit that mark and also hit the second phase 2 mark for 5%, right? So this specific trades, guys, like it literally took me 2 weeks to pass this prop firm, right? Like I think the first week I was like in a drawdown of like 4%, and then the next week literally I took a trade, right? This was the trade, right? A 10-hour trade, right, that I took, and this passed my phase 1, right? It literally made me like 12%, right? So I was down like 4%, and then I made 4% plus 7%, right, which was how I passed the phase 1. And then the phase 2 was a counter trend trade. I don't have it on here, but I think that trade was literally from here, guys. Literally, this was the trade, a counter trend trade, very short, like a short scalp. And Lucky kind of went all into this trade. It is what it is, but this is essentially how I was able to do it. So let me break this trade down for you from A to Z, right? So first off, let me just show you exactly how my screen looked at the time, right? So price was literally down here, like it was like here, right? And then before all this happened, right, I actually did not have this markup here, or have this markup here, or this one, right? So I think the only markup I had at that time was essentially this right here, literally just these 2 lines, right? So I had these 2 lines here, and the reason I had these 2 lines here was because if you just look at the daily chart, you can clearly see that price, right, has literally reacted with this area here about 4 times, right? And this is the span of like years, like 2 years or so, right? So that's the reason why I marked this daily area of interest. And also here too, you can clearly see that price was reacting from this area here, so that's the reason why I put this here, right? So if we go back to the actual trade, that's the reason I had these 2 lines here. And then in the 4-hour time frame, you're going to notice that, okay, boom, in the 4-hour time frame, guys, price is bearish, right? If you don't know how to identify the trend, guys, it's very simple, right? I used the method called the ICC concept to understand what the trend is and how to look at the market. So essentially, guys, like notice how price was literally bearish, as you can see, creating lower lows and lower highs, right? And then all of a sudden here, price came, and then literally, guys, like it came here and then poked out and then sold. Now the reason for this poke out, guys, let me explain to you the reason for this poke out here, and kind of give you an example of how to look at higher time frames, right? Because if you notice, guys, in this specific time frame, right, like price was bearish in the 4-hour time frame, but if we go to the 1-hour time frame, right, price was literally bullish, right? So if you notice here, guys, like literally here, price was bullish, right? So if price came, broke this previous high, and then was creating lower lows. At some point it kind of broke trend here and then was going down, but then it now broke up here, right, breaking past this previous high and then creating a higher high. Now the reason why I took this sell here was because, guys, you have to understand, right, how I enter my trades is very simple, right? I try to know what time frame will play the ICC concepts. So the ICC concepts basically stands for indication, correction, continuation, right? So this is the indication, the correction, and then the continuation, right? So I basically look at indication, correction, and continuation in each time frame, right? So I look at it in the 1-hour time frame, I look at it in the 4-hour time frame, I look at it sometimes the daily time frame, but mostly in the 1-hour and 4-hour time frame, right? Because obviously the daily time frame is like I have to wait a whole day for the whole candle to form, right? So it's going to take years for me to even take one trade, right? But if you notice, guys, in the 4-hour time frame, actually in the 1-hour time frame, guys, price was bearish here. Like price came, you have to learn how to follow price action, right? So price was literally bullish here at some point, right? Creating higher highs and higher lows. So this was the previous low, then created a new high, and then price now broke and closed below this. And then notice how price now came back up here, gave a nice like shooting star entry, and then it sold back down here to this area of interest, right? So price now came to this area of interest and then now reacted and then now continue to buy up. So here, when price reached here, guys, literally what was in my head was, okay, boom, price literally just created an indication in the 1 hour time frame, right? So again, very simple. When price is in an uptrend, price creates an indication and then it will what? Correct itself and then continue that trend, right? So in this case here, I was anticipating that price will, of course, you know, give indication here and then correct itself, right? So now the correction, obviously, right, like for the 1 hour time frame to continue the trend, price literally has to correct itself like somewhere around here and then give a buy entry to then now continue that trend upwards, right? But knowing what I know and like how many I've been trading for like 4 years or 3 years now, and like, guys, you know, when it comes to experience, I understand that sometimes, you know, that correction in the 1 hour time frame is really a reversal, as you can see, right? And the reason for that reversal was because in the 4 hour time frame, right, price was still bearish. So whenever the higher time frame is still bearish, you have to be very, very wary about, you know, the entry patterns you see in the 1 hour time frame, because, you know, when the 4 hour time frame is bearish, any, you know, sell entry in the 1 hour time frame has to be taken very likely, especially when it's, you know, on top of the like trend, like somewhere on top here, like somewhere on top here. You have to really, you know what I mean, react to those kind of things. So in this case here, guys, my entry literally came from price, you know, giving this harami candle here, right? And then also giving this evening star. So this first two candles here is a harami pattern, and then this third candle then now solidified, you know, my entry, which was now the evening star. I took my first entry literally down here, and then I literally waited for price to then now go into a drawdown, which it did. And as you can see, literally on this specific candle here, I took my entry while price was literally going up. I took my entry right there. Price was in a little bit of drawdown, and then as you can see, price now went my way for a 10 risk to reward. So essentially, guys, my original risk to reward was essentially, let me break this down real quick. My risks to reward was essentially a 1 to 2 risk to reward, right? But you see how price going into a drawdown gave me, you know, that extra, I would say, space to find another entry to then now take that good trade, which is now that 10 hour I've been looking for, right? So this is essentially how I look to take my trades. So I basically wait for an entry, which is this evening star, and then once I enter my first trade here, I then now wait for price to then now go into a drawdown. In some cases, it does go into that drawdown and then, you know, gives you really good entries, but sometimes it doesn't really go into a drawdown and it just gives you like, you know, a small drawdown and then goes into profit, right? So in this case here, guys, literally it's all probability, right? And I was, you know, in the right time in the right place, right? Because this entry was literally like around freaking 5 a.m, like between 5 to 7 a.m, right? And guys, truth be told, guys, I probably would have been sleeping, but at the end of the day, this is forex, right? And forex, you know what I mean, you have to be real with yourself. Like, moves happen whenever it wants to happen, so it's your job to either be awake when that happens or set a buy or sell limit whenever that happens, right? So that is essentially how I was able to catch this sell. And if you notice also, guys, in the 4 hour time frame, because the 4 hour time frame is bearish, you still have to take into consideration, you know, the entry signals that the 4 hour time frame gives you. So in this case here, right, when price reached here, the 1 hour time frame is bullish, but in the 4 hour time frame, price gave a shooting star. So what that tells you is, in the next, you know, coming, let's just say 8 or 12 hours, price is likely going to sell, because in the 4 hour time frame it's bearish and it gave you a bearish signal. When in the 1 hour time frame it's bullish, but if you understand the ICC concept, right, in the 1 hour time frame, literally, right, price created an indication, and then the next step is now the correction. But in this sense here, the correction was really a continuation in the 4 hour time frame, right? So in the 4 hour time frame, essentially how you look at this is indication, correction, and then continuation. That's essentially what I mean by, you know, like looking at you know, the ICC concepts in each individual time frame, right? So this is essentially how I was able to cut this trade. And then with the second trade was right here. Yeah, so the second trade was right here, guys. And literally, guys, let me be honest, with this specific trade, I mean, I want to say I was kind of lucky, or I guessed right, because, you know, I looked at it this way, like, okay, boom, price has been selling, right? And, you know, it got to a point where like price literally dropped like more than 700 pips, like literally more than 700 pips, right? Like in total, right? So I'm thinking, okay, if price drops more than 700 pips, right? And I've looked at it from history that price has never dropped more than 700 pips and just keep on dropping. That it has to retrace somehow, some way. You feel me? So that's essentially what I was going through my head at that time. So if you notice again, the 4-hour time frame gave like a shooting star here, right? So this was kind of like my indication that price is likely going to buy up, right? Because price gave this shooting star here. So all I did was now wait for 1-hour entry. So in this case here, I literally, guys, like I want to say I was lucky, but you know, it is what it is. Like literally, guys, like I seen a shooting star here, and then I just knew that, okay, you know, price has to retrace, right? And before it retraces, it's likely going to, like, you know, fake like it wants to sell, or like take out liquidity, right? Like, you know how you enter a trade and then price hits your stop loss and then just goes your way. That is exactly what I was thinking in this trade here. So literally, guys, like when price was, you know, coming down here, I'm not even gonna lie, like I was just moving my stop loss down and stuff like that, right? Until I kind of like reached a point where, okay, price now reversed. So essentially when price reversed, I now like doubled my entry in one of these areas here, and then price just went my way essentially, right? So that's the thing. And I won't lie, guys, like, you know, trading like this is not advisable, because, you know, sometimes, guys, you can get ahead of yourself. Because I actually did try to get a buy entry, like actually did try to like buy. I think I bought here, and then, you know, price went into my direction here, but then because it was a counter trend trade, I completely forgot about that, and I thought price was going to reverse, and I kept on holding, and as you can see, price now came and then now took me out. So sometimes, guys, you still have to be very aware, you know, of what you are doing, right? So in this case here, I was literally aware of what I was doing. Why? Because, you know, I was trying to pass the challenge. So, you know what I mean, with that being said, guys, this was how I was able to, you know, get funded 50,000, you know what I mean, with Ascend X Capital. I always call them Ascend FX, but it's Ascend X Capital. Hopefully this prop firm doesn't go down, you know what I mean, before my payout, and by God's grace I will get my first payout. Let's see how it's going to be, you know what I mean. Like, I'm not even gonna lie, guys, like I'm already like down already on my live account by like 3%, 2%, right? Yeah, 2%, guys. And based on what I know, guys, you know, sometimes you just have to learn how to take profits, you know what I mean, when you are up, and also like learn how to, how do I put this, like just take the right trades, to be honest, right? Like take the right setups, take the right trades, and learn how to take profits, right? Learn how to take profits, because, guys, I was literally up 2% or 4, actually almost 4%, guys. I'm never gonna lie to you, I was up almost 4% on like my first 3 trades, but guess what, I didn't pull out, and price now retraced back, and now I'm down 2%. So, you know, obviously I'm not going to fucking lose this account, you know what I mean. One thing I know for sure is, guys, my risk management is good, you know what I mean. Like with 50k, guys, I'm risking literally 0.04, you know. And guys, trust me, with the way I trade, quote unquote, I could easily make 3-4% risking 0.04, right? So with that being said, guys, I hope you gained a lot of value from this, guys. I'll post more videos. I know I haven't posted in like a month, but hopefully, guys, I'll post every single day, because that's my goal. But let's see how this works. If you have any questions or comments, guys, just do that at the bottom of this YouTube section. I hope you gained a lot of value from this, and I will see you guys in the next video. Peace.